Please welcome Shuyin Zhao.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today to share the latest of GitHub Copilot and to show you how it's revolutionizing the software development and paving the way for a future with 1 billion developers. Whether you are a team lead, a developer, or someone steering a ship at a big enterprise, you are going to walk away from today's session knowing there is so much more to Copilot than you might realize, and why GitHub Copilot is the developer tool of choices for many years to come. Today, AI Assistant has already become a must-have in every developer's toolkit. So much like how today's youth cannot imagine life without smartphones, developer is finding AI Assistant as indispensable as their keyboard. Proficiency in AI tools will become a core competency, as natural as mastering a programming languages. And the GitHub Copilot has much to do with this industry-wide shift. In just a little over 2 years since our initial launch, we've become the most widely adopted AI coding assistant, used by millions of developers and over 77,000 organizations, including more than 1 in 3 Fortune 500 companies, up 180% year over year. In Gartner's first Magic Quadrant for AI Coding Assistant, published just this August, we are being placed at the very top of Leaders Quadrant, rated the highest for our product vision and ability to execute. And our team are super proud of this recognition and achievement. And here, I want to thank you, our users and customers, for your trust and support, and for being with us on this journey. Well, being named a leader also brings with it greater responsibility for us to continue innovating, advancing even faster than before. So as a product leaders behind Copilot, we constantly ask ourselves, what's the next generation of coding system be like? How do we evolve Copilot to serve the need of AI native developers? We are approaching this from 3 dimensions. Number 1, top quality of assistance and exceptional editor experiences for every developers. Number 2, customized and trusted experiences for our organization customers. Number 3, integrate with GitHub to extend Copilot Assistant to the entire software development lifecycle. Let's dive in the first dimension. GitHub Copilot starts with the ghost tags auto-completion, and that is our bread and butter experiences. Providing consistent top quality suggestions is why developers love us. And this is something the team here is constantly pushing for advancement, small and big. On the modeling side, instead of using a generalist large language models, we're fine-tuning code-specific one, focusing on developer scenarios and coding tasks. So with this code-specific model, we aim to provide higher quality of suggestions across a wider range of programming languages, most up-to-date software framework, and even specialized domains like gaming development. In the coming month, we will be launching these models into Copilot, starting with the .NET improvement. So as shown in the screen, the Copilot suggests a modern .NET patterns for an Aspire app instead of an older pattern. We have also been improving prompt engineering to make a Copilot more context-aware. extending beyond just your neighboring tab to encompass a more holistic view of your entire project and code base. One of our recent improvements is to integrate with C++ language services in VS and VS Code. So as shown in the video, even though the header file is not opened in the editor, but Copilot is still able to suggest accurate existing utility function because the header file is automatically included in the context. So alongside of providing the top quality of suggestions, the team here is also building new features to up-level the overall editor experiences, helping developers navigate more efficiently and make the most out of it. So let's welcome Harold on the stage to share what's new in Copilot for VS Code.
Hello, universe, and thank you, Shuyin. Welcome to my exclusive insider's tour of the brand new GitHub Copilot features in VS Code. I've been using them for my daily development, and I can't wait for you to try them out. First, I wanted to talk about models. We have this new model picker, and as Copilot always had multiple models under the hood, when would you want to pick a different model? When your task demands it. O1, for example, is our most advanced model. It should be your pick for complicated tasks. Let's give it a complicated task then. Let's build a working chess game from scratch, rendered in 3D. When writing prompts for O1, be specific and clear to help its planning. Now O1 reasons through my requirements, taking its sweet time, but then it generates the full game in one go. And remarkably, once we run this, the game works. With a nice take on artistic rendering, let's add some polish. The board and pieces look a bit too flat and need some shadows. This time, I will use the default model, GPT-4o. While O1 could do this task, quick code iterations are for GPT-4 and it handles it with ease. And my updated code streams in, it's a few lines of change to enable shadows, and we're done. A beautiful working game in minutes, thanks to Copilot. Building a game from scratch is a fun demo, and 3D chess is a big step up from a snake game. But let's step out of demo land into the familiar world of day-to-day development. My project is a community website for tracking marathon results. It started as a boilerplate swell kit project, but like most development work, it has evolved into something distinct with its own particular style and conventions. Copilot has always been fantastic at handling boilerplate code, but now, with custom instructions, I can tailor to my specific code bases. The instructions file in this repo give Copilot guidance in every chat conversation, helping it deliver more relevant results on the first try. And this minimizes the need for corrections and keeps me productive and focused on development. And as expected with VS Code, I can further personalize instructions with fine-grained settings. This is a great starting point to tweak my own Copilot experience across projects. So, with instructions in place, let's implement a leaderboard to show the fastest marathon runners. And Copilot Edits is our new tool for large changes across multiple files. I give it the code it needs, my open files, and tell it what I want: a leaderboard, page, and a link. Now, Copilot plans out all required changes, including the 2 new files for the page. Meanwhile, I can start reviewing a stiff stream into my editor, but only when I hit save, Copilot touches the actual files. And allowing Copilot to save changes automatically is my choice, as I love to verify results in live updated previews. And that worked like charm. Just one prompt to get a working leaderboard that I can keep iterating on. Let's see. The distance needs some fixing, and I'm curious if adding the race count makes this feel more like a leaderboard. And if this edit doesn't look right, I can easily go back. Changes are limited to files in the working set and tracked for each turn until I accept them. This keeps me in control, and I can iterate on changes with confidence. Now that's the leaderboard I wanted. Accept and done. Copilot Edits is ready for you to try out now in VS Code. So give it a spin for your next big coding task. Now that we've seen how to make some different edits, let's quickly tidy up with Copilot commands. Developers love them for solving common tasks like fixing errors, writing tests, or drafting commit messages in one click or one prompt. I want to demo a new command that can fix my failing test case, which prevents me from updating a new sponsoring form. VS Code's Test Explorer shows it as a quick Sparkle action, and watch it working step by step. It analyzes the code to pinpoint the root cause. It applies a fix in my mock data afterwards, and then I can rerun the tests to verify just how I would have done it, but a lot faster and easier. But what if I want to go beyond our built-in commands? VS Code's powerful extension ecosystem is what makes it truly adaptable. And now, here's a glance at the first extensions in VS Code's marketplace that integrate with Copilot. Let's try one of my team's explorations, an AI-generated diagram system powered by Mermaid.js and Copilot. When I run its chat command on my database schema, it's using VS Code's tools to gather code and then generate a diagram of database relationships, which I find much easier to understand than the schema. And because it's a VS Code extension, it can contribute new views like this visual outline. This makes me excited to see more Copilot-powered features coming to the existing Mermaid Chart VS Code extension. And I'd love to see how you extend Copilot on your own, into your own or your team's workflows. And as you will see in a minute, this is just one of many customization layers in the GitHub Copilot platform. And that wraps up my insider's tour of new Copilot workflows in VS Code. And everything is available now in today's release. Powerful model choices to iterate from, iterate fast and seamless with multi-file editing, and speed up more tasks with slash commands, and add new ones with Copilot-powered VS Code extension. For a deeper dive on our many new features, improvements, experiments, and more, we got some more sessions coming up. Happy, smarter coding.
Wow, thank you, Harold. Such amazing lineup of features, choosing from multimodal, OpenAI, Anthropic, and Gemini, and Copilot Edit with multi-file. So exciting. And there is more. For the first time since the initial Copilot launch, we're adding a new IDE extension to the Copilot family. I'm thrilled to announce the public preview of Copilot for Xcode. Bring the power of Copilot to millions of developers building applications across Apple ecosystem. All Copilot users, individual, business, and enterprise can get access to it today. Just follow the Getting Started guide in this public repo. We cannot wait to hear from your feedback. While we strive to provide every developers with top quality assistant and exceptional IDE experiences, for organizations looking at leveraging AI to accelerate business outcome and innovations, we're also dedicated to helping you to solving unique set of challenges and expanding Copilot assistance for your development teams. Each organization has its own unique context, knowledge, and code base. Having the flexibility to tailor Copilot to this specific organization need is very crucial. And one way of doing that is through the fine-tuned models, where Copilot suggestions is tailored to your code base. Last month, we announced the public preview of fine-tuned models. Today, there is already a diverse range of customers across multiple industries benefiting from it. So let's see how it works in action. As an org admin, you simply choose the set of repos and files to kick off the training process. Behind the scenes, we're leveraging the state-of-the-art LoRa fine-tuning method to only adjust the most critical parameter of the model to keep the whole process faster, affordable, and highly effective. So this means you, the customers, don't have to be a machine learning expert to use this feature. You simply point us to your directories, and we take care of the rest. So as users, we automatically connect you to the fine-tuned model. So the code suggestion you get, it will be tailored to your code-based internal API, libraries, even coding guidelines, and specialized languages. So the fine-tuned models is already available in public preview for Copilot enterprise customers. So you can talk to your sales representative or join the waitlist. The fine-tuned models is one way for us to customize the Copilot experiences. Another way is through the Copilot extensions. So last month, we announced the public preview of Copilot extensions. And today, at the GitHub Marketplace, we have over 20 Copilot extensions from your favorite third-party developer tools and services like JFrog, Atlassian, DataStax, and many more. So let's walk through a few Copilot extensions examples to show you how seamlessly the Copilot extension integrate with Copilot to keep developers in the flow. So many of our customers, they are using Atlassian. So the Atlassian Ravo extensions enable developers to directly query your Jira issues and pulling the best practice and documentations from Confluence without ever leaving the IDE, keeping developers in the flow, meaning productivity boost. The DataStax extensions enable developers to manage your database with natural language. No more memorizing the hard query syntax. Not only you could retrieve information using natural language, but you can also use natural language to update, write, create tables or databases right from the Copilot chat. So these examples are all public extensions available today at the GitHub Marketplace across VS, VS Code, JetBrains, .com, GitHub Mobile for everyone to use. For organizations who has your internal workflow, internal tooling system, you can always develop private extensions that's only visible and available to your own development teams. So let's welcome GP from Adobe to share their experiences with private extensions.
Hello, everyone. My name is GP, and I work on our developer platform team at Adobe. So who are we? I don't think I need to tell anyone about Adobe. Adobe has been shipping world-changing products since even before I was born. Our developer platform team, though, slightly less known than some of our products. So what we do is we build the platform that you don't see that helps make all of the products you see possible. So we do all the compute, CI/CD, observability, AI coding assistance, developer insights, developer culture, all of that good stuff. So as the developer platform team, we obviously care very, very deeply about our developers' happiness and productivity. And we think about it along 3 different dimensions. The first one is cognitive load. We want to make sure that our developers have very little extraneous cognitive load so that they can use their entire mental capacity on solving meaningful problems and not dealing with uninteresting complexity. The second piece is flow state. We want to get our developers in flow state and keep them in flow state for a very long time. And the third one is feedback loops. We want to create really fast, tight feedback loops so that our developers can get more iterations in the same amount of time. So I don't know if anyone has mentioned this at this conference yet, but there's this AI thing called GitHub Copilot. And it turns out AI coding assistants like Copilot really help with all 3 of these things. So our team at Adobe started rolling this out last year, long before I joined, and our developers really seem to like it. So we have a 34 NPS, which is in that great category. We don't force our developers to use any of these tools, and we've gotten to 55% adoption rate for our 13,000 developers. And just to get a sense of the volume, we accept around 70,000 lines of code per day from GitHub Copilot now. So for those of you who have worked with this, you know that these AI coding assistants are great at public data because they are powered by large language models that are trained on public data. So if you ask it questions about like generic Python or Java or Docker, they're really helpful. However, when you start to ask it questions about things that are private, whether it's proprietary technology, internal SDKs, internal policies like your data classification and handling standards and all those things, they don't really perform too well. So in addition to having these AI coding assistants, you need an augmentation strategy. And our augmentation strategy at Adobe is called Adobe Developer Assistant, or ADA. We actually named it after Ada Lovelace. We thought it'd be really poetic to have like an AI coding AI assistant that developers use that's named after the first programmer. So this is what we're trying to do with Ada. On the left-hand side, we have our developers. And the GitHub design team assured me that that icon represents developers. And on the right-hand side, we have all this complexity of the Adobe-verse that our developers have to navigate. So what we're trying to do with Ada is take all this uninteresting complexity and provide this really simple natural language AI interface around it so that our developers can spend their time and energy on doing the most meaningful things. And we have a demo next. Oh, here it is. So I'm asking GitHub Copilot a very Adobe-specific question. How do I set up east-west communication in Ethos? Ethos is our compute platform, and it says, sorry, I can't assist with that. And then I just mention Ada and say, ask the same question. And then the request goes to Ada. It's set up as an AI agent, and it invokes the right kind of tool, and it gives you the information right in your IDE on how to set up east-west communication. The second example is IMSlib. So IMSlib is our SDK for integrating with our identity system. So over here, it gives you all the different steps to how to install the package, how to run the code, and all the same like insertions and everything, the same thing just works. And the last piece over here, it doesn't have to be like super complex and like just related to coding. Even simple things like, hey, I'm new here, like how do I get started? You can start to really create these experiences for your developers right in the IDE so that they can stay in flow state. You give them these fast feedback loops, and you minimize this extraneous cognitive load. So thank you, everyone. I will hand it back to Shuyin.
Thank you, JP, for sharing Adobe's experiences. So for builders who are looking to build Copilot extensions, whether it's private or public, we hope today's example could inspire what you could do. So to get started, going to this website to access the Builder's Toolkit, including samples, tutorials, and documentations. We cannot wait to see what you create as we're approaching our GA in early 2025. And be sure to check out our 330 workshop sessions on building Copilot extension. Where we're building capabilities to help organizations to customize the Copilot experiences. Copilot is also here to help with tedious but mission-critical tasks, like modernizing your code base to stay competitive. If you have gone through a similar project like this before, you know it could be very time-consuming and expensive. So today, we are announcing the technical preview of Copilot Upgrade Assistant for Java. This assistant uses a multi-agent agentic framework to upgrade your Java applications. It analyzes your project, proposes an upgrade plan, including dealing with the dependency like Spring Boot and JUnit. And through this upgrade process, it automatically transforms your code and fixes the issues using a build, fix, iterate dynamic loop. It also has the human-in-the-loop approach for developers to address errors and making fixes. And best yet, Copilot is learning from these fixes on the fly and apply them to the remainder upgrade task. So at every step, you stay in control. You can review the file changes, commit the diffs, the logs, the output, even a summary of file changes, dependency changes. And once you have validated all these changes, Copilot can also help you to create a pull request. And this is really an early preview for Copilot using an agentic workflow framework to help with long-running and more complicated tasks. And there is more to come, so stay tuned. For every organization, safety, security, and privacy are paramount. And we have made it central to our approach with building Copilot. Since our very first initial launch, we implemented the built-in filters to protect the Copilot suggestions from security vulnerability, harmful content, or personal information leaking. And since then, we have been making constant improvement. To further strengthen our offering for security and security-conscious organizations, we have recently implemented the content exclusion features to exclude sensitive files from being accessed by Copilot. So admins can set it up with just a few simple steps, and users will get an in-editor notification whenever it's being triggered. To better protect the IP, last month, we announced the general availability of code referencing features for both chat and code completion. So when Copilot suggests more than 150 characters of matching public code, you will get an in-editor notification and shows you the matching code, the file URL where it's being found, and also the licensing information from relevant repos, if there is any. So this added layer of transparency is helping developers making more informed decisions and helping organizations to innovate more responsibly with the help of Copilot. While developing Copilot functionality, solving organizations' customer challenge is crucial. It's equally important for us to help our customers to better adopt Copilot and maximize its benefit. For that, we're taking a multi-pronged approach. First is with the Copilot Metrics API. Not only we enhance that with more feature coverage, but also we'll be introducing individual user-level engagement metrics to help you quickly identify your champion power users and doing more targeted push for your organization. And second, we're going to be releasing an in-product Copilot engagement dashboard to help customers to quickly visualize how your development teams is using and engaging with Copilot. And third is the direct access to event level of Copilot usage data set. So for those customers wanting full flexibility and customization. You can even combine that with your existing DevOps metrics for you to quickly develop insight that matters to you and your organization. Last but not least, we are also going to increase our guidance on how to use Copilot to improve engineering system-level outcomes, developer happiness, velocity, code quality, and business outcome. So stay tuned as we share more details in the coming months. In our quest to evolve Copilot to serve the need of AI-native developers, we firmly believe AI should benefit the entire software development lifecycle. For that, we have extended Copilot from the inner loop inside the editor only to outer loop with key workflows on GitHub, the platform loved by over 100 million developers to build, secure, and deploy software. So let's welcome Simina on the stage to talk about what's new with Copilot in GitHub.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Shuyin. My name is Simina, and I'm a Senior Director of Product here at GitHub. And I'm so excited to show you today how you can supercharge your existing workflows on GitHub using Copilot. Last year at Universe, we brought Copilot right into the GitHub platform. This not only gave access users to Copilot chat in github.com, but it also infused Copilot with a deep understanding of your repositories and organizational knowledge. That was only the beginning, the first step of helping developers with Copilot across the SDLC. Since then, GitHub Copilot has improved to understand the essential context that you and your teams use, from pull requests to commits, issues, discussion, releases, files, repositories, and even common support scenarios and GitHub's documentation. This context only lives on GitHub, and only Copilot has it at its fingertips. So if you are a Copilot user, regardless of your plan, you can use this rich context, whether you're chatting with Copilot in VS Code, Visual Studio, or on GitHub, and even in the GitHub mobile app. And in case you missed it, Copilot chat on github.com and most of the new capabilities you are about to see are also available to Copilot individual and Copilot business users today. Today, I will show you how your core workflows can get even better with GitHub Copilot, empowering you to ship better quality code faster and focus on what matters most for you, delivering value to your customers. So let's start from the beginning. Have you had one of those long issues or long discussions with tens of comments that takes 1 hour to catch up on? I've been at GitHub for 6 years, and it happens to me all the time. With inline discussions and issue summaries coming soon, you can now get ahead and catch up quickly with a TLDR on an issue or a discussion and get straight to work. Once you have a good idea of what's going on, you can use your favorite editor or Copilot workspace to get quickly from idea to PR. Now that I have a PR open, I need to make sure that it passes CI/CD. Copilot is now deeply integrated with GitHub Actions. Here at the bottom of the PR, I click on the details to understand why the job has failed. Then, on the job overview page, with a single click, Copilot comes to the rescue. So if you have one of those long failing jobs with a never-ending log, Copilot can help analyze and suggest fixes for the failing job directly in the Actions UI. Phew. Getting to an initial PR was quick and painless. 16 years ago, in 2008, GitHub introduced the pull request, marking a new way to collaborate on code. Over the years, pull requests became a convergence point for developers to get feedback from CI/CD integrators, linters, or colleagues. Now, in the age of AI, pull requests are increasingly important, with AI workflows coming straight into the PR process, and even Copilot extensions like Sentry. Today, I am excited to introduce a new reviewer into the mix, GitHub Copilot. With Copilot by your side, you can get a quick review on your code in 30 seconds or less. Instead of spinning your wheels for hours or days, you can start iterating and move towards ready for merge while you wait for a human review. Copilot can spot hidden bugs, tidy up your spelling and grammar mistakes, level up your error handling, and more. So let's see it in action. Here in my pull request, I can simply ask Copilot for a review in the same way I would ask one of my teammates for a review. Organization can also turn on automatic code reviews for every new PR using rule sets. I wait about 30 seconds, and then Copilot comes back with feedback. As you can see, it spotted a few issues. I can review and accept Copilot suggestions in one click and get my code a little bit closer to ready to merge. Of course, I will still wait for my teammates to jump in and review, but thanks to Copilot, I feel pretty good about my code. The human reviewers can now spend their time on what matters most and provide faster reviews. And if you're thinking, this is great, but can I get this review earlier as I'm writing the code? The answer is yes, you can. Simply head to the Source Control tab in VS Code, and Copilot will review the changes for you. With Copilot code reviews in the editor, you can start committing more often with more confidence. For the past few months, we have been running Copilot code reviews on every single pull request that has been landed on the main repository here at GitHub. The data showed that the time from opening a PR to PR merge decreased by hours, not minutes, once teams started using Copilot code reviews. And in a random sample of over 200 PRs with code suggestions provided, more than 60% of the suggestions provided by Copilot were accepted directly into the merged PR. We've also been running a private preview with a range of organizations, large and small. When we asked for feedback on the experience, 70% of developers said the reviews provided by Copilot was useful for improving the quality of their pull request. Jesse, a staff engineer at Procore, which is a company that does construction management software, said during the beta, Copilot code reviews automatically reviews the code and gives good comments like another developer on the team. And Eduardo said, GitHub Copilot allows me to commit enhancements and get to a mergeable PR quickly. You got it. We'll keep it going, Eduardo. With GitHub Copilot, code reviews are getting better out of the box without any additional configuration. But we know out of the box is not everything. You want a reviewer customized to your own style and best practices. Copilot Enterprise customers can create custom coding guidelines written in natural language, so Copilot can give a review tailored to your standards and best practices. Internally at GitHub, we've seen Copilot code reviews powered by coding guidelines automatically catching the most common cases that previously led to failed deploys. Now, fast forwarding to the PR that I opened before. I might get a review from Copilot, a few from my teammates, comments from Copilot Autofix, and even annotations or check failures from integrators. I love all these suggestions, and I know they can make the code so much better. But I now need to validate them, refine them, and then finally land them back in the PR. Today, we are introducing a new way of doing all of that, right in Copilot Workspace on GitHub. Let's see this in action. when I look at the code suggestion from Copilot, I can open it in Workspace. I can review the suggestion in the context of the entire PR and apply the change or make any quick edits, backed by Copilot code completions. I can also use the same workflow for security-related code suggestions coming from Copilot Autofix. The changes here span multiple files, so I will open them in Workspace to have a better look. Once I hit apply, I can also run the test to make sure that nothing broke. Everything you see here is backed by GitHub's compute. The tests are passing, and now I'm confident I can land these Copilot-generated suggestions back in the PR. Finally, there's one more type of review we didn't really talk about, the human review. In this example, let's look at a comment written by my colleague Tim. I can open it in Workspace, just like I did before, and use Copilot to suggest the actual code change to solve his comment. Thanks, Tim and Copilot. So, to wrap it up, regardless if you have feedback coming in the PR from a colleague, from a CI/CD integrators, or from an AI agent, like Copilot Code Review, Copilot Autofix, or a third-party agent, now you can quickly iterate on the changes directly in the pull request with Copilot Workspace. Validate the change on GitHub's provided compute, and land those changes back in the PR. Copilot Code Review and Copilot Workspace in pull requests are now in public preview. Copilot individual users and organizations using Copilot Business or Copilot Enterprise join the waitlist today. Whether you're a professional developer, a hobbyist, or an open source maintainer, GitHub Copilot is so much more. In the coming days and months, everything you saw here on stage will help you get even more out of your day, starting in the IDE and all the way through GitHub and in production. And if you are an organization who is only getting started with Copilot, or you're all in already, we are GitHub. We get you. GitHub Copilot is here for you with deep customization, insights, and security features. Thank you.